Okay, back from doing some yard work after that breakfast. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm more focused about the food. After that breakfast, the country scramble with mozzarella cheese on top and vegetables. So that was a big breakfast and got me through some work. Now I'm having a snack with some fruit salad that I made yesterday and some peanuts and some other snacks as I get hungry. I eat a little bit at a time when I'm hungry. Never fill yourself. So, as I'm snacking, eating healthy, I'm going to show you how to make a quick pizza dough. So, we have your 2 2/3 cups bread flour, and then a half cup of wheat flour, a little bit more than that actually. Excuse me. So, to that, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon in there. Shoot. Well, it's 1/3 of a tablespoon, so that's that. So then I have my sugar, which is my honey, which is mixed in with my water. It was a cup of water with a teaspoon of honey. And then my yeast, which has a little bit of water in it right there, and it's blooming, I think that's called. It's getting ready to go. And then I'm going to start mixing this stuff into my, the wet ingredients into my flour here. So, first thing I like to do is put a little bit of water in here, this out, and then start covering up that water so it's not getting too sticky right away, and I can mix it in until it starts coming together. Not too much of it gets on the side right away, because then that makes it gets sticky on the side and it's hard to get off, harder. Keep adding a little bit. When I get down to the bottom, close to the end of my liquid, I add the yeast, and then I add the water in there, swirl that around to get all the yeast. Like that. And then I keep mixing it in. And my last wet ingredient that I have to add is olive oil. I usually add that based on how much I need. It's usually about somewhere between, I don't know, a tablespoon or 2, maybe 3. Mix that up like that. And it's not ready to come together yet. Sometimes I have to add some extra water, sometimes I don't. So then I add my olive oil now. And then I see if it's going to be enough to put this together. Hopefully it is. So I start pushing it. And that liquid inside looks really dry right now, if you can see that. But you don't want a lot of water. Just enough to get it to come together. You can see I'm folding it over like that. I'm pulling it up and pushing it down. I'm pulling it up and pushing it down. Kind of folding it over, trying to pick up that dry stuff that's in there. I think I am going to add a teeny little bit of water for that. So I usually just add a tiny bit to the outside, and then start to work that in. And that might have been too much, see it got really sticky right away. But that's okay. Just a little bit extra. Really particular about it and make a really fluffy dough, then you want to get that right. But I've done this enough times, I know it's going to come out right. And I like a thinner crust, thinner, crunchier crust anyway. I'm going to show you that tonight when we have the pizza. When I have it. I'm going to shadow my puppy. Whoever he is, I'm surprised he's not here. So you can see that it's made a big ball. Once I saw Julia Child slam it like it's on hers, should say you gotta activate that yeast. But it came together pretty nicely. So if you can see this, it's folded over that way. It's kind of soft on the top. And then right at the end, bowl's pretty clean. And right at the end, I just go whoop with a little bit of olive oil, all it right around like that. And then coat the outside just a little bit, trap in all that CO2. I'm not a scientist or a professional cook, so if I say something incorrect, so be it. Correct me, help me to learn. So then, once that's like that, it needs to rise. And this pizza dough should only take about an hour and a half to rise. I usually only let it rise once. You could let it rise more than once. Again, if you want the maximum fluffiness of your dough, then there's a few extra little steps that you can take, like letting it rise more than once. So I cover it in plastic like that, and then I take a tea towel. The olive oil is also to keep it from sticking to the plastic when it rises. And then I go like this, and then I put it in a warm place, which is by the oven. And like I'm going to do now, sometimes I turn on the oven a little bit because that area of the oven warms up, and the yeast like that nice warm area. So that's my pizza dough. We'll come back to it in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And show you how to make my healthy pizza. Meanwhile, I'm hungry. Okay, we're back from more yard work. Surprising yard work that came about by fortune. So we're back with our pizza dough, right? Let's open this up. Oops. Plastic off. We got our dough. Always looks a little lumpy because it's more a factor of the wheat dough, I think, and just rising not perfectly. So I have some flour here that I like to sprinkle around the outside and a little on top to make it easier to handle. I don't want to do too much of that because it's where we want it as far as the kind of dough we're looking for, at least from my understanding. And once again, I'm not a professional chef. I am a hack home cook with a little bit of catering experience. So there it is. So first thing I like to do is, for me, this is 4 servings. Like that, and like that. I'm going to put it back. Actually not in there. Another little container that I like. Put them in here like this, and they finish proofing. And this one I'm going to eat. I'm not going to put that on all the way, so put that right there. Let that proof. And now I got this little guy to work with. So this is what we're going to have for dinner. So you can be real gentle with it and throw it around and do all that stuff, but I just like to use a rolling pin because, once again, I like the thin, crispy crust. So here's where I roll it out a little bit, and I try to use a little bit of flour but not too much so it doesn't taste too floury. I just want to roll it out. And I know some of you might not like this because it looks kind of like, dough, and it's not real fluffy and all that, but that's me. you can let that thing, I believe you can let those go again and they'll get really fluffy, and then you can use a lot more dough than I like to use on my pizza. You could use twice this, even for a single person or maybe two people, or you could use the whole thing for a family. That would make a nice big pizza, real thick, and it'll poof up for you in the oven. Once again, that's not what I'm doing. And I'm trying to go a little more healthy, so the less bread you use, the better. And plus, it's the ingredients. That's what tastes good. And the spices. So here I like to get it to a point where I can spread it out and thin, but not break. And it's breaking on me a couple times, but I don't mind that. Just push that back like that. Looks like we're gonna have a triangle. Put this away. By the way, I have the oven heated to 450 with a pizza stone, so that pizza stone is cooking hot. There it is right there. And Shadow is whining, either at squirrels or he wants some pizza. So if you want to do it super healthy, I do this. I put basil on here. I like to put it right in the crust. That way when it cooks, it gets right into that breading. And then I got some fresh oregano from outside. It's early in the season. It's only May, so the basil isn't ready yet. And I spread that around a little bit. Make it super yummy. Then, super healthy would be this. I take these tomatoes, see how they're sliced like that real thin? And I put them over right there, and then I put all my ingredients on top of that. Or you can put the tomatoes on top. I'm sorry. We're going to put the cheese down first, then the tomatoes and the ingredient, and the rest of the ingredients in the oven, really hot, cooks that quickly. So, but we're not going to do that because I want to use my homemade sauce from last year's garden, which is tomatoes, basil, onions, a little bit of carrot, might put a pepper in there too, and ground turkey meatballs that I made a long time ago. This was frozen and I pulled it out. And I make sauces like that and then I freeze them because then I can pull them out and use them when I need them. Now pizza's our mainstay here. We can eat pizza a million times a week. In fact, we probably do eat pizza 3 times a week, and tacos or nachos a few other times. But it's pretty healthy. So on top of that, on this way I make it, take my mozzarella cheese. This is just a block mozzarella cheese that you can get at any store. I think I paid $3.50 for it. You can get a few pizzas out of it. Now you can put as much as you want on it. This is a lot of cheese for one person. But I did a lot of work today, so I get to eat more. Yum. Then I like to put the sausage on next. I think. Yeah. Sausage is already cooked. Yep, if you saw the breakfast episode of today's Healthy Cooking with Beal, we had sausage for breakfast too. I love sausage. I could go vegetarian if they had a sausage that tastes as good as pork sausage. Well, I haven't found it. Some of the other stuff tastes pretty good, but it's not good for you. There's some good stuff in here for you. And then the button mushrooms that you can get in those little packets, little pints, a couple bucks. Super yummy on top. Nothing green in there, so you should always put something green. Same peppers from this morning. I like green peppers. I get colored peppers when they're on sale, but green peppers are generally on sale more often, so that's that. think we're pretty much done with our pizza here, people. So that's it. It's going to be super yummy. I'm going to drop it in here, I think right now. Depending on how much sauce and how much wetness I have on the pizza, I will add olive oil at the end, like if I do just tomatoes or something like that, or a lighter style. But this is a pretty wet pizza, so it should cook well. The hot stone should cook the underside of the dough really well, and even that sauce, and then on top it'll cook everything else. So we'll see. Here we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Cardinal sin. So the peel, need to be able to slide the pizza off, and with a fresh dough it's not the easiest thing to do. So usually I put cornmeal under it, and that reduces the friction and allows you to slide better on the peel, because you could spill the whole wonderful pie on the inside of your oven if you don't get it right. So you gotta get way under there. Hopefully I got it. Hold on a second. Try it again. Still looks pretty triangular. Shake it a little bit, shake it, see it move a little bit. Now I know it's good. Now I get it on there perfectly. There it is. Close it up. Set the timer just so I don't forget, but I'm always thinking about it because it's only going to take 12 minutes. Dust that out. Keep that ready. And have a drink of wine. Clean up. Trouble. Ready for some pizza? Be back in a little bit. Okay, so pizza's done. So this is a nice cutter. Very good friend gave it to me a long time ago. But you don't have to have that. You can use one of these. Cut it like that. Or your other one, your standard kind of circular pizza cutter too. I don't have one of those. But here we go. So there it is. I don't know about you, but that's the way I love my pizza. Ooh, brown cheese right there, giving that umami flavor along with the sausage, which is all about that, and the mushrooms. Cheese is melted perfectly, you know that. Yep, it's kind of crispy there. Oh, it's just like I love it. So, let's cut this puppy up. I cut it right down the middle. And I eat my pizza in strips, not wedges. You do you, I do me. That's done with that. This goes back in the block. I didn't use it. And because I don't have any fresh basil, because garden's not ready for that yet, fresh oregano, which was ready earlier. A perennial instead of an annual. And we're in quarantine, so I can use extra oregano. That's not that funny. There we go. That's super hot. I can't really taste it too much right now, but now, because we're not using processed stuff, we can add a little bit of salt at the end, just for that little extra touch. For me, I want a little fresh basil, chiffonade, I believe that's what they call it, on top at the end. That's me. And if it's not wet enough for you, you can add a little bit of oil at the end too, which always tastes good. So, let's see if I can try this end piece. I know the sauce is good because it was good when I made it. And I don't really think a sauce gets hurt too much when it's frozen and reused. You hear that crunch? Oh man. Sauce is really rich. The garlicky, the vegetables, excuse me, the sauce. I didn't even have sausage yet. Oh, it's hot. It's everything you want a pizza to be. Cheesy, tomatoey. I like all kinds of vegetables and sausage on top too. And for me, I like the extra crunch and that little browning on the top too. You can certainly use more dough and let it puff up a little bit more and make your edges real nice like that, but this is exactly how I like my pizza. So, to each their own, and this is a healthy pizza by Bill. Full day. Well, no, we'll have dessert. For me, it'll probably be a little bit more wine and some chips. Enjoy your evening, people.